of people, most people even buy a Resonator guitar to play bottlenecking and open tuning. And while that is one of the best things that you can do on a Resonator, it's not the only thing. And I should know I've been doing that in the last 10 years and enjoyed every second of it. But I just recently restringed this guitar with a 12 gauge string, and I put it in standard tuning because I wanted to demonstrate that these guitars are so much more. And the reason for that is because I do remember my hesitation before ever buying my first Resonator. It obviously wasn't a National, it was a Gretsch, Alligator, then a Honey Dipper. But I was hesitant to spend that much money on a new guitar I didn't know anything about. I kind of felt that was my presumption that, well, I need to learn open tuning, either G or D, or preferably both, and then, mostly play slide in it. But like I said, let me reiterate, this is not the only thing you can do on a Resonator guitar, so go ahead, feel free to purchase that Resonator guitar you were drooling over, because you can basically play most of the things on it that you already know on the guitar in standard tuning. Obviously, fingerpicking is one of the best fits for Resonator guitars, and not only because of the Resonator cone, but because, I don't know if you ever noticed, but Resonator guitars are small body guitars. They are kind of 00 sized. So just because of the size or the shape of the guitar, you have more of a mid punch. And obviously, the Resonator cone adds some high end, some middle to that equation, but it kind of makes it really punchy and it really cuts through nicely. But it also means that it's kind of a smaller section of the sonic spectrum or the frequencies that you will hear from a Resonator guitar. And therefore, in some contexts, it might sound a little bit boxy. So while it is good for fingerpicking, it might not be the best for like more open ringing, so not muted, but more beautiful finger picking pieces. Might not be the best for that. I think it still sounds pretty nice. Where it really kind of starts lagging is when you play full chords. But the trick that you can do with full chords is, if you're not really playing your open cowboy chords, even if you do, if you add like a boom chick element to it, so kind of separate the bass and the upper part of the chord, you can really make it work. It will never sound as big, beautiful and luscious and deep as a jumbo or a dreadnought, but it will be usable for in certain contexts. So for example, if you want to play western swing and you want to play some shell voicings, I think it has a really nice mid-rangey, again, punchy sound that could fit that style. I know that another huge concern is the weight. So how heavy are these resonator guitars? Now, a wood body resonator is not that much heavier than acoustic. It is somewhat heavier, but it's not, you know, Les Paul heavy for sure. Because the biggest thing is this cover plate here. Because underneath you have the cone, but that's really thin, basically a speaker sort of thing, speaker shaped, yeah, aluminum speaker or whatever you want to call it, but you call it a cone. So that doesn't add really, you know, barely adds any weight, but this adds some. So it is somewhat heavier. But of course, people usually think about metal body resonator guitars, and they can get heavy. Now, if you buy a cheap metal body resonator guitar, they can be really heavy, so heavier than a Les Paul. If you buy a high-end, so like a National or a Mule, you know, metal body resonator, it will be much lighter, heavier than the wood body guitar for sure, but it will not be catastrophic. And last but not least, let's talk about the tone a little bit. You've heard the demos, but what I would like to, you know, direct your attention to is that I think the mid-range is the most, you know, powerful. That's the strongest part of the spectrum that resonators send out. Because, you know, there's a misconception of resonators being too trebly and they have too much highs. And I don't think that's the case. It's actually, I think a regular acoustic guitar has more high-end information, it's just not as cutting. So yes, the resonator guitar, especially the metal body, has a little bit more, you know, cut in the higher frequency as well, but it doesn't necessarily give you that too trebly sound, that ice-picky sound. There's one more thing that's really important, and that's the grill style. So these guitars, these Reso Rockets have a tricone style grill, and there's a lot of sound pouring out on these, you know, many holes. So if you buy something that only has F holes, it will have more of that trash can sound that people love for resonators. That's a valid choice. But if you want to get closer to the acoustic guitar territory, look for, well, a tricone, but I don't have that to demonstrate. But even if it's not a tricone but has the tricone style, you know, grill, it will again sound a little bit smoother, less of that edgy tin can sound, which again you might prefer, and then go ahead and buy that. Perfectly great choice. But if you want to use it more in standard for regular stuff, then yeah, get a grill style like this. Now, I do have a lot of resonator comparison videos on my channel, so you can see the wood body and the metal body compared. You can see the National and the Mule compared. You can even see these two guitars compared with an acoustic guitar. You can also see my comparison of a small body Waterloo 00 compared to the J1800 from Gibson. So there are a lot of comparisons on my channel. Feel free to look around and try to, get more out of these, well, instruments I paid a fortune for. Maybe it's helpful on your search, and let me know if you have any questions, if I can help out in any way. I'm gonna try to do that in the comment section, because I really think resonator guitars are cool and awesome, and you should get one.